Hi again folks, how yous all doing? What have I got here? This is a Hornby Flying Scotsman in its wartime black livery in what could be described as a bit of a state of disrepair. This was sent to me by a chap called Paul, who told me that he acquired this about 9 years ago and he's got no idea if it runs or not because of the state it's in. He's asked if I could maybe have a go at sorting it out. From the looks of it, I think I've dealt with worse, but a Hornby model from this era of manufacture in this state gives me the heebie-jeebies, to be honest. Due to the probable work involved with this, I thought it may be best to serialise this video, maybe just 2 parts, but we'll see if any nasty surprises crop up or whatever. So let's get this to the bench and have a closer look at this to see what we're dealing with. Right, okay, let's get a close look at this. I'll get everything out of this tray. Tender, we've got a bag of bits, we've got the locomotive body, and we've got the chassis and everything else. So, we'll look at the tender first. The body is very loose. The clip appears to have broken at the front there. It's probably screwed in at the back, I would imagine, underneath this coupling. We'll get a look at this later, but worst case scenario, a wee bit of black tackle. Keep that in place. Let's open up this bag of bits. We've got brake rods, we've got smoke deflectors, we've got a speedometer, we've got a brake from the broken off the underframe by the looks of it. And that wee bit there I think is broken off the front of the brake rods. 2 smoke deflectors with lots of glue on them. That rod belongs on the side of the locomotive body, I believe. And there's a little square piece of plastic there that is broken off something. So looking at the locomotive body, we've got steps on one side, but they're missing on the other. The brass thread for the body screw has come out of the body. You can see the plastic around it there's broken. The screw and the brass thread are still in the chassis, thankfully. I've got a bit of glue mess where the big glue mess actually, where the smoke deflectors were. Yeah, bit of a mess. That's not going to clean up, so I'd certainly want to refit the smoke deflectors. But I think we don't want to add any more glue into that. I think we'll maybe just stick them on with some black tack, and at least that way they can be removed easily. But I think the last thing we want to do is start adding more glue into that. Let's just get a look at the smoke deflectors. Yeah, they're clean enough on the outside, but a lot of glue. And a couple of little pegs are broken on that one. So they will fit on kind of like that. Sort of. But I think if we just put them on with some black tack, they'll stay put, and you won't really see the black tack, and at least it'll hide all that glue mess. But there's no way these are getting fixed on without either gluing them on or sticking them on with some kind of temporary adhesive like black tack or whatever. This little rod here, I think that belongs on there. See if we can clean out those little slots and get that back in. The speedometer link would have been glued to there, I think. That might have slotted into there, I think. The brake rods, yeah, well, we could possibly get them on. Let's get a look at the chassis and everything else. The underside, oh, looks okay. Hornby, made in China. That's where that brake should go. I can see how that's been broken the way it fits. You know, there's a little notch in the chassis there where that fits, so I can see how it's been broken. This appears to have had the pipes fitted underneath the cylinders, but we don't have them. We've got a bit of static grass here and there to clear out, so we'll strip this down and give it a good clean. The main issue is this plug. Looks like it's been yanked out and somebody's tried to repair it with a bit of solder. Paul has sent me a replacement he bought, but yeah, for one thing we've got multicoloured wires, which I don't think would look very good, and for another these wires are much thicker. Let's just get the old one, compare them. See, the wires in this are much thicker, so yeah, it would probably work, but that's going to be a lot stiffer than that, which isn't a good idea. You can get replacements for these, but yeah, I don't fancy fitting that, to be honest, but I think I'm going to have a go. Oh, right, see, one of the wires has just popped out. But I think we'll have a go at trying to repair this. You might think it's not possible, and it might not be possible, but I think if we can get these little metal plugs out of here, if that's at all possible, we might be able to repair it. If not, I'll order up a replacement that's like this and not like that. So I think that's maybe the first thing to do is get this sorted. Let's get all these bits and bobs back into the bag just now. So yeah, it's in a wee bit of state of disrepair, and it's kind of typical of what you'll see with one of these made in China Hornby models from this era of manufacture. You know, if they've been handled a little bit roughly and subjected to a little bit of jiggery faffery, that's the kind of thing you're going to come across. But I'll bet you anything that runs fine. But until we get it running, we don't know how this runs, if it's got a wobble, or we'll need to check the gears, check they're not split. So there could be hidden problems that we'll have to deal with yet. But this is the thing I want to fix first. So let's see if it's possible to repair this. So that one is out, and we need to make sure we keep these in the right order. That's the other thing. We can't mess them up. I want to see if that lifts up. Does that come out? So by lifting that piece of plastic up, that pushes out. So that'll then come out. So yeah, it's been crimped. I wonder if it's possible to open that up. There, I've managed to open that up and get the insulation away. The old wire is still in there, I'm never getting that out. But if I can get, if I can strip this wire and get it into there, crimp it back, maybe put a tiny wee touch of solder on it and get it back into the plug, and do the same for the other three, I think we'll be okay. It's going to be a fiddly job. Strip that, fit the wire into there. want to put a wee touch of solder on that. Like so. Right, okay, I've fixed the wire onto this wee terminal, wee spot solder. Let's see if we can get it into here. And if we can, then this might just work. That's it in. Right, okay. Well, I've managed to refix that wire in. We'll see if we can do it the same with, I think the next one's okay, is these two here are a bit of a mess. That one's now disconnected. So we'll try and do the same. Well, I've got 3 wires in, but this last one, I think this plug's a goner. You know, somebody's tried to solder this in situ, and this is all melted and distorted. I think I can get this plug out, but it's all full of solder and everything, so nah, I think we're getting into a bit of a mess. It was worth a try. I think if that hadn't been, you know, such a mess, if the wires had just popped out, I could have repaired it, as I did with that one and that one. But no. So I think I'm going to go online and see if I can get a replacement for this, which will need to be soldered on to those joins there. Okay. So the part we're after is X6113. This is the Hornby website, but surprise, surprise, it's out of stock. And a quick look online, just about everywhere is out of stock. There are plenty of sellers selling these, which they're calling X6113 equivalents. Now these are similar to the ones that Paul sent me, but I don't really think they are equivalent because the wires are different colours and they're a different gauge. I mean, they'll work, if you connect them up, they'll work, but I would rather fit the correct part. So I found on the new Modeler shop, they do have the correct part in stock. It's a 5R, so we'll order that up and we'll get that fitted. So I think I'm going to wait till I've got this replaced, and then I'll be able to connect it to the tender, see that the locomotive actually runs, and then we'll give it a full service and sort all the other wee issues out. So we shall come back to this in a few days' time. So this will be the end of part 1. Catch you later, folks.